Hello, how are you doing, guys? It's Damon yet again. This time won't be a list, but it's more of observation. It's like, first of all, I'll give shout outs because I don't give too many shout outs. I should give you shout outs. I give a shout out to Chris Ludek, with his awesome episodes about what if in wrestling, about Soul Monster, Jason Solomon, Soul Monster sounds off. Of course, it's important to me. It's the not just he has a soothing voice when he talks about anything about wrestling, but and basically he can have an opinion. And it's like I think it's basically seems very non. He's not that judgmental like others, unless their opinion is very very wrong. Like if you like a Raw, it's one thing, but say it's the best Raw ever, that's something else. When you go at public for anybody, it is. Uh, but I love his opinion, as you all, most of you do. Wrestling Soup, Julian Numbers, Mish, I always love you guys. Laps fan, to me one of the best podcasts ever in wrestling. The only one that basically makes me basically chortle Cola Cola every time. Sometimes I would hear the TNA Dixie Carter team. Now I can listen to that team without laughing. Or the Family Feud team. Another one that I discovered recently was Deadlock with John Blood and and James Darnell. Hilarious. So yeah, I have to basically go with those shout outs. And that's the thing. I love, you know, wrestling channels that make me laugh. Like if you're too serious, too negative, I really don't do this well. And I love OTR Central. Schleg Daddy was very hilarious, especially with his Sid commentary. And it's a shame that I don't that he's not posting videos anymore. I know he said he was gonna do it, not gonna do it in 2026, but I miss the guy. I'll be honest, I miss. So I want to give you shout outs to these guys. Let me know if I forgot some of them. I want to start with those. And I explain my reasoning for this video. This video isn't doing a list per se, more of a rant. Because the other two I wanted to make a shout out to because they're doing a great job. Stevie Richards, because I want to send him props and congratulations for 100 episodes. And James Romero, who always does a fantastic job in terms of reporting. But they mentioned one thing that was resonating in my mind before they even did a video. Wrestling today, you can say have great matches, but there's no replay value. Like it used to be like people, I was wondering what made wrestling back then great is because there was a lot of replay values. I can rewatch the 1992 Royal Rumble anytime I want. And I'm always looking for new things I didn't notice, and I'm always intrigued. Like today, it feels like it's a lot of consume things, but don't rewatch. Like, I'll let you in on something. I have a lot of DVDs on my play. I love Christopher Nolan movies, I love Martin Scorsese movies. I don't want the just digital. I have those digital. I have the physical media, those DVDs, because I can watch them at any time I want to. I have Simpsons DVDs, early seasons Simpsons. Why? Because I like to rewatch it. I laugh a lot to old episodes I've seen a million times. The Simpsons. I love Seinfeld. Same thing there. And I would rewatch Seinfeld. I rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy every year, once every year. I rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the original one, the original Star Wars trilogy, the original. Well, now it's going to be a fifth movie, but Toy Story. It's about Naked Gun trilogy, American Pie, the theatrical movies. That is 1, 2, Wedding Reunion. And there's a thing, or basically the Cornetto trilogy with Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, World's End. All of these and Wrestling in the Past. What do you have in common? Lots of replay value. Oh, I forgot Godfather. Oh, damn it. I forgot that trilogy. Okay. Also this. That's the thing. Like a lot of great movies have great rewatchability. Great wrestling have a lot of great rewatchability. I can rewatch Bret Hart's 1997 Pro Canada anti-US angle anytime. Anytime, and I'm still entertained. I love how, despite him being damn good as, and I thought it was a speak as a promo that year, Owen Hart still managed to at least outshine sometimes Bret in hilarious ways, like screaming at the crowd, like "We're winners, winners!" Like only Bulldog wasn't that great in the whole group in terms of promo. You can rewatch Austin's rise during this 1996, 97. You realize like from 1996, 1997 was more unhinged. Even as a face, it felt like more angry. 1998, it felt more like I'm just gonna fight for me. I personally prefer 1996, 1997 Austin, but whatever. He's still 98, still good. There was a lot of character development there. And I'm not trying to say we should go back to kick, punch, chinlock wrestling of the Attitude Era, but I see a lot of move. It used to be that you saw people wrestle and they would hide the fact that it's preterm and choreographed. Now it feels like it's just choreographed. Everybody does a damn plancha. Everybody does a code breaker. I've noticed this. Like it's supposed to be Carmelo Ace, one of his finisher, and everybody does it. Why? Because he rolls once, that makes it better? How about the cutter? OG cutter from Giovanni Evans, Cody cutter from Cody Rhodes, uh, Sol Ruka's finisher. Like it should be just Randy Orton who does it. You know? Super kick, you could say it was spam to hell, but if Sean doesn't care, it's like, okay, cool. Kenny Destroyer used to be spam like hell, but this is a move that actually was rescue, was salvaged now because it's Penta's finisher. Dives to the outside. Seth Rollins is one of the king to make sure that move never means anything. When you have three dives that basically barely face your opponent, it sucks. And you need to reevaluate your own method because it sucks and probably you suck at dives, that is. But then again, Seth Rollins is the same guy who thinks it's a great idea to do a superplex in a Falcon Arrow, totally demean the superplex. Moves used to mean something too. I'm tired of seeing people who receive two finishers to get up 30 seconds later. I would dare them to do this in front of Aku, you know? So replayability, there's barely anything. You watch it once, you don't want to watch it again. AEW matches. As much as sometimes you can have fun at AEW's expense, there's a lot of good matches, a lot of good athletes, but it's like I watch that match, like, oh, it was very good. I don't want to see it again. And don't think it just is limited to wrestling. It's also for movies. People tell me Dune Part 1, Part 2 are excellent. I like them. And let's not take it wrong. They're pretty good movies. Maybe they're not for me, but it's not because I have bad taste in movies, it's just this one doesn't click with me. And it's like I watch it once, I'll watch second, I'll watch the third one in the movie theater, but I don't feel like I need to buy them on DVD or ever watch it again. Because I feel like there's apart from the cinematography and the awesome Hans Zimmer score, there's nothing I need to rewatch to understand the story better. You know? In terms of wrestling, same thing. Like, okay, Bret Hart worked the arm. Basically, why did he basically work the arm and work the leg? Because set him on the sharpshooter. Why? Because like this, if they can't use their legs, they'd be more prone to their sharpshooter. But why? Why not hit it right away? Because if he does it right away, there's a good chance they have enough core strength to go reach the ropes and break the hole. Whereas if they don't have basically the strength with their legs, they're forced to tap out to preserve their health. They're in the middle of the ring, they can't move. And also, if you face athletic people, if he basically hurts the leg, basically their entire repertoire or arsenal of moves, which are high-flying moves, will be taken off the shelves. Even Sean will basically tune up the band. Sometimes hit body slam in the arm. Will basically do the top rope elbow. Why? He would tune up the band because you would assume that the guy receiving an elbow drop, he basically would go to adrenaline, get up, and basically, yeah, and get a sweet chin music to the face because he's just holding his stomach. Oh, my stomach's hurt. I gotta protect my stomach. By the time you protect your stomach, you forget to protect your head. Jake Roberts. Sometimes you basically make sure that you would you would mimic somebody like basically try to hit their head or whatever, or Arn Anderson for that matter. Basically hit their head, they would crouch down. Perfect window to hit the DDT 1, 2, 3. Like I watched Carmelo Ace and Ricky Saints like yesterday on SmackDown, and it's like how many times they turn their back to each other to run against the opposite rope. And the first thing I'm thinking is, why does nobody like runs up while sneaking up to their opponent and just roll him up right after they're running the ropes? Or deliver, I don't know, a Bridget German suplex. Why isn't that spot available? Because right now you're just posing like, here's my move, it's my move. It's the Ricochet versus Willow Spray effect on wrestling, thinking it was good. And it's taking money away from you guys. It is. Long term, it is. Maybe not short term, but long term, it is. Again, I don't want to say let's have every match be a brawl like the Attitude Era, but I used to love the variety of matches. Like, not everybody's wrestling the same, not every match is going to be the same, but now it feels like it is. It used to be that you look forward to the X Division match, you look forward to cruiserweight title matches, and now it feels like everybody's trying to wrestle a cruiserweight style. If Yokozuna was based in today's era, he'd be forced to do a moonsault. Imagine down to the Giant having to do a top rope Frankensteiner or being told it can't work. That's lunacy and stupidity. There's a reason Obafemi is getting real big reaction because he works like nobody else's business. He's dominant. The moment you ask him to do a moonsault for no reason, the moment you lose him. Braun Breaker. He has great impact, though he should protect the spear and get a backup finisher because it's like I would say a Steiner screwdriver, but that might not work. Maybe reinstate the Bulldog. Seth Rollins, like I said, is a master. People say he's great. I think he's pretty good, but he's not great. He's a guy who no sells his own finish and no sells the finish of others. Less is more. I think people need to learn from Jake Roberts. Less is more. Make it mean something when you hit the move. You know? That's one reason. Like, there's no replay value. And not just there's the movies or wrestling. Even my favorite games of all times are games I cannot wait to play again. If it's a game you play once and it's your library, and the moment you're finishing, you don't feel like playing again, congratulations. It's not a great game. It's a great game, but it's a legendary. I gave you an example that's very niche and maybe geeky. Octopath Traveler. I like Octopath Traveler 2. I really liked it. It's like 8.5 out of 10. So does Octopath Traveler 0, and the music's awesome. The moment I finished it, I had no desire to play it again. Whereas Romancing Saga, Revenge of the Seven from Square Enix, sorry, to me is a much better game than both of them. Anyway, all in all, there's no I feel like there's no replay value. There's no incentive to rewatch it and relearn something. Unless you're in the business and you want to learn about marine psychology. If not, no. There's no promo that says, man, that was damn good. Unless CM Punk's on the mic, it really feels like a damn you're not missing something. Or unless Daniel Bryan's in the ring nowadays. Also, I used to look forward to pay-per-views for the undercard as well. Again, I'm not asking for 12 match per pay-per-view. And there used to be a time where even in your house pay-per-views at 12, 10, or 12 matches. Heck, WCW, you know, 2001, every match, every pay-per-view had 12 matches. It's like, no, that's too much. But 5, 6 matches too much with WWE or TKO. Like, nobody's basically saying you don't understand the wrestling business. And if you got to do this, I mentioned to you guys, I mentioned to my friends, if you're going to do this, then put 6 matches a night, do 2, 3 hours of pay-per-view, call it the equivalent in your house. And reduce the price of basic admission, maybe $30 a ticket. How about that? You'll see long term it'll be much better off for everybody. But the reason is, okay, it's like, oh, but everything's on the plan. I feel like the more I think about it, the more Triple H is a lot like Vince McMahon, and not some for the better, some for the worst. Like inflexible, like Vince McMahon. But even Vince McMahon sometimes say, "Yeah, let's do it for the pop for that night." Whereas Triple H, no, we have a vision. In 7 years, this guy's gonna be there. Okay, sorry, but in 7 years is a long time. In 7 months, still a long time. Injuries can happen. I'm not saying if one time a person had good pop, give him the world title, but I feel like it's so stringent, it's so rigid in their way of thinking. And sometimes the person you want them to be over is not that over. Julia, I like her, but there's no incentive for me to say put her in the world title division because she's not as over as you would like her to be. Sad but true. It feels like Triple H just wants to push people who we seem who can identify with. If you can't imagine being you, he's not gonna push you. Like The Miz, it feels like Triple H really wants to get rid of The Miz. And honestly, kudos for The Miz to stay as long there because he's been, honestly, kind of feel like in terms of booking, he's been abused. And people don't know how good he is, how reliable he is. I'm not saying he should be WWE champion, but you couldn't put him the US title again on him? Seriously. So, no replay value, very barely any. Match don't really mean something. That's the thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, match are given. It's just, or the focus on the same stars, like Roman Reigns. Hey, he's interesting in tribal chief. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the same stuff happened. The bloodline, the bloodline, the bloodline. Holy crap, man! I used to like the bloodlines, but it's like it's character regression. Character regression. I mean, he went from basically being on his own to now he's regressing to being back his heel self. Maybe I should have seen it coming because at WrestleMania 42 he re-debuted his heel team. But I'll go to the number another reason why I think it doesn't happen in WWE, especially in WWE. Like Jey Uso and people, Jacob Fatu now is forced in the bloodline. And I do remember that Jason Solomon's thinking maybe they'll feud the MFTs, and I think I have something even worse than that. I think they're gonna NW 999 that stuff. And I think the MFTs, at least Solo Sikoa, is gonna bow down to Roman Reigns, gonna reform the entire unified bloodline. And somehow, some way, they'll be faces. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm done with the bloodline. Like, if you want, basically, you don't have to feud. I'm sorry, they don't have to feud. They don't. Roman Reigns doesn't have to feud with Usos. They can still be cool with each other, still team from time to time. But it's the same thing as a Shield. The moment they reunited, yeah, I was happy at first they reunited, and then they kept on separating, separating, unifying, separating, uniting. It's like, can you just be on your own? This is all stars like Jey Uso, yeah, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu cannot be associated, cannot have their own identity, just identify with this, you know? And there's another reason why. How come that there be books babyface as eels, like classic babyface as eels, and eels as actual babyface? Roman Reigns should be basically a heel the way you're booking him. As of the Usos, they're acting very eelish. And LA Knight seems more in line to be a heel turn. He's popular. The people love him, but it's like, oh, he's paranoid about the about the bloodline. Well, it's basically his paranoia is being proven right. He's proven right that basically, hey, we say we're going to be a new bloodline, whatever. In Cobra Kai, Daniel LaRusso was paranoid about Johnny Rollins and Cobra Kai. They didn't portray Daniel LaRusso as the eel in this. He might have acted eelish in a way, but you could understand it because he was still traumatized by the whole experience of Cobra Kai. And Johnny Lawrence, actually, or you could have somebody in the bloodline, was actually really meaning it to be good. It just so happened the source, the head of the snake, was still poisonous in John Kreese. And in this case, the head of the snake is still Roman Reigns. And he's still poisonous. He never really apologized, never redeemed himself. Like, he was never meant to see, oh, see, this is how I've treated you guys. I'm really sorry. He didn't really, there's no talk about acknowledging. He never atoned for his sins. So to me, it's like, why are people cheering for him? Why are they be encouraging them? Furthermore, why is Trick Williams a face? When he embarrassed Carmelo Hayes, he kept saying the gingerbread man, which is an unfunny joke. He did a fake funeral for Sami Zayn and the gingerbread man, which is basically what people in WWE, even WWE knew that people would do this were eels. They did this to a fake funeral for Goldberg and Ric Flair. And Sami Zayn crashed the proceedings should be a face move. Why is Sami Zayn a heel? Like this week, I like in SmackDown, they basically portray him as a tweener, as is what it should be. Because if everybody points out that Cody Rhodes is selfish, which include LA Knight, which includes Punk, which includes Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like, how many friends? Heck, even Hulk Hogan would basically be baffled how many friends turned against Cody Rhodes during his title reigns. Shouldn't that say something? At this point, if Cody Rhodes isn't the heel, then who is? Sami Zayn is the same spot as Bret Hart back in the 997. Well, you could book him as I would book him as a heel in the States and everywhere else the face. How about that? And you can have Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens being a team, a unit upon Kevin Owens' return. But why are they heel? Why are they booked as heel? Trick Williams with Lil Yachty is being booked like Triple H with China in 1998. And he was the least likable member of DX. And he was the leader of DX. To me, Trick Williams is just about several 2-3 steps that people say, well, this character's not that likable. And I'll be the one saying 2, 3 years, I told you. I love Trick Williams, a very good athlete, but I don't see why he's not an eel then. Over Carmelo Hayes or something like that. That's why it remind me. WB doesn't have good the actual classic baby face. They turn him into whiners. And the eels, they keep acting like eels without basically a point in time where they actually redeem themselves or acted eelish to what people would deserve to be. Heck, I like Dan Allison, but at this point, I'm actually wishing that Miz actually gets his on Dan Allison for real. Not in, as in the Miz character gets his in storyline, or the Miz character gets some comeuppance, or the Dan Allison, sorry, gets the comeuppance against Miz. Like Miz actually beats him in the match. How about that? That's what I mean. Like Miz is being treated like a joke when he's been W champion twice. Like I understand he's been treated as a mid-carder, but that's fine. But treated as a joke, and that's the thing. There's no many long-time performers in WB that actually surpass the amount of time that the Miz has been in WWE. Kofi Kingston, you left him out of the stupid decision that basically you didn't want to resign his contract. Now you have the Miz. The Miz might be the longest reigning, longest lasting employee of WWE right now. That's how you treat him? At this point, I'm expecting budget cuts to happen, and I'm thinking, what's the point? WWE probably wants that 20 wrestlers in total, including women wrestlers, per per show. And that's ridiculous. So I think I'll stop it there because I feel myself I'm about to ramble. So here's the reason why I feel like wrestling is no longer rewatchable. Or it's not as good as before. No replayability. I mean, one good match on many doesn't make me want to relive the show. Uh, Storylines don't matter unless the chosen one, unless it's chosen on like Cody Reigns. If not, you're gonna book him whenever you want to. If it's not the ones you want to see being over, you try to basically push them. Basically, I would say counter push them like basically reluctantly, and basically with one foot out the door to make sure that the moment there's any mistake of that person, you say, ha ha, see, you cheer for somebody who wasn't that good, like for RVD. We told you so. And four, you book heels as babyface and faces as heels. Like the gingerbread stuff, early 2000 comments, guys, but it was wrestle crap. And people cheering for this, dude. You're cheering for things that 20 years ago would have been rightfully called out as wrestle crap. Shout out to RD Reynolds. Seriously, man. And AEW might be sometimes better at times, and sometimes they're just as bad. So everybody, and anybody who's offended by this, go the hell up, get better, and shut the hell up. And that's redirected to wrestling, okay? Anybody who's, if any wrestler was to watch this and be offended, grow up, get better, and shut up. To you subscribers, that was not directed at you, that's directed to wrestlers. So on that note, let me know what you think down below. Catch you guys later.